Hello, KMA tribes, friends, family. Today I want to talk to you about freedom. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about The Sound of Freedom, a movie that Barbara and I watched last night. And look, I'll lead with the fact that that movie is heartbreaking. In the time that I watched it, I was angry and sad, and so many things, uh, and most of the things which are a little bit negative, right? Because it just reminds you that the extent, the magnitude, and just the amount of the quantity legal, the it's a real problem. And that's the first part of this message, right? The second part, of course, to because I always look for the positive in a negative situation. The second part is this, which is that we should remember the amazing blessing of freedom that we have and not squander that thing, right? And I'm talking, of course, about the most basic of freedom, number one, because again, you should go and watch that movie if you haven't. Yes, it's painful and emotional, but it's not you, Mama. I already told you not to. She'd have a hard time even with it. I'm telling you, it's hard. And by the way, another by the way, before I get on with my points is you know I don't want to say this, by the way. It's, of course, we knew that. Everyone's aware that human trafficking is a serious problem in the world today. But the truth is, like actually the protagonist in the movie says at one point in time, it's not a topic that comes up in polite conversation. It's something that we'd rather not think about, and I get that because I actually teach the importance of not focusing on the negative things, only focusing on the positive things, because we move in the direction of our dominant thoughts, and that is true. And then there are things like this that, and those kids can't. Those kids can't defend themselves from that. Which leads me to the positive stuff. So one is not taking our own freedom for granted, not taking our freedom of opportunity, our freedom of choice, our freedom to do great and worthy things in the world. These are all freedoms we have. So we have to remember, like I'm challenging everybody, remember the next time that you're going to complain about some, petty grievance, that we're free. Second is, of course, to cherish the time with our loved ones. My friend and Black Belt Leadership student Miguel Martinez had seen on Facebook that I was going to watch the movie, and he said it's a great movie. It's well written. It's also heartbreaking. He said I hugged my daughter Michaela doubly hard after I saw it, and this is true. So I think that it can be a great reminder about how blessed we are to have our loved ones be free and safe, and the importance of keeping them that way. And then number three, the third positive that comes up for me in this negative situation from this heartbreaking movie is that there are people doing something about it. I often feel like there's a lot of silly things that come up that are awareness, right? Like, the bucket challenge and da da da. How much money did that really raise from any organization, or what? There's all this crazy stuff that comes up, and it's supposedly for awareness. I'm gonna do a certain number of push-ups. I'm gonna put ice water over my head. I'm gonna, unless you're actually doing something to directly affect the thing, or to, a perfect example right now is everybody is selling T-shirts. God's children are not free. You know what? That is a great message. I agree with the message, but what are we going to do about it? Well, I love that the men and ladies of Operation Underground Railroad are doing things, and I am going to figure out how to support them more directly. Of course, I'm going to donate personally, but I have this awesome organization and some awesome people with me, so I think that we can make a real impact, and we need to, because these are men that are in real service. A lot of them also served in the military, but are in real service combating what is the greatest evil of our time. And, you know, and that's the thing. That's the thing with everything that I want to close on, is that awareness is important. Knowledge is important. But awareness and knowledge doesn't get it done. It doesn't solve the problem. So along with awareness, for example, you've often heard that in a self-defense situation, awareness is one of the most important things, and that is true. However, even the awareness isn't enough if you haven't been preparing in the self-defense skills to apply in the situation. And in the case of something like this, because look, yes, we equip our young people with the most realistic self-defense skills, but let's face it, kids can't defend themselves against the monsters in this thing. So we have to, we also have to, we do need some awareness and paying attention to do those things. We need to train them, and we need to train, and we need to be aware and vigilant. You can't live life scared. You can't run around like expecting the worst. That would be, that would not be a life well lived. But you got to be prepared. And we do need to find ways as a society, as a people, to stop putting focus on things that are ridiculous, and to start putting focus on things that matter. And I think that defending those that cannot defend themselves and standing up for them and helping in any way, like I said, whether it's directly, like those door kickers that go in and do something about it, and by the way, one of the ways we could do it directly is pay attention. It could be awareness to pay attention and see if, there could be somebody that is a victim of human trafficking that, that it's right, like in our day-to-day lives, you got to pay attention to possibilities of things like that, right? Like, and have the courage to find out, to investigate, to report something like that. And then there's the indirect way, of course, of supporting those door kickers, right? Like I said, I am going to do some stuff, not only personally, but through fundraising and such, to support Underground Railroad. Because while I think everybody should watch the movie, and while I am also going to spread that, because the message that the actor said at the end was how storytelling is one of the most powerful things, and like if this movie got to 10 million people, that it would make a significant impact. So I think that we should support that as well. But I don't think it's enough. I think the other thing is you got to continue to take hardcore proactive action against this thing. I remember we supported the Human Trafficking Foundation with a small event, I don't know, a year or two ago now. And, we were able to raise $5,000 in a day for them. I'm sure we can do some amazing stuff on this one too. Anyways, I know I've rambled a little bit. It's a serious issue. I haven't even thought all the way through it yet. I just wanted to share a little bit about it. I do want to highly recommend that, unless that you have a hard time with very, very, very emotional content, because it does depict somewhat realistically. The movie does depict realistically, without going into graphic detail, but realistically enough does depict the terrible things that are happening in the world to these children and others. Enough to, like, where I did advise my mother that she probably shouldn't see it. So you got to make that decision. But look, if you are, on the other hand, one of the people that, like me, that wants to experience the discomfort that leads to massive action, then I highly recommend you go see the movie. All right, that's all I got today. Now I'm going to shift focus and affect what I can affect here, because it's another day to be a great day at Krav Maga Martial Arts, to sow into the children and teens and adults, families that are a part of our tribe, and to take advantage of the freedom that we are blessed with. Prepare to live, empowered to lead. I'm Shan Steve.